and welcome to my channel. My name is Rachel. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if it's not your first time here, thanks for coming back. So today, I am going to be doing two looks with the BEAUTE Bar Star-Crossed Lovers Palette. Ooh. She's a beaut, this one. Absolutely gorgeous, pinky purple, love-themed Valentine's Day palette, if you will. When I saw this palette on social media, I knew I wanted to pick it up. This is a brand that has been on my list of brands to try. When they came out with their Strange and Unusual palette last year, people were raving about it. It sold out a few times, and the color story was not like my favorite color story. So when I saw this one, I was very drawn to the color story, and I knew I wanted to try out their formula, so I picked it up. I will link this down below, and you're gonna see two looks. This is the second look. Spoiler alert, I love it. I always put timestamps down in the description box if you're interested in just hopping to the looks if you don't really want to know about the palette itself. Although I'm going to share some swatches and you want to see these swatches, okay? Because these shimmers, they're something else. If you enjoyed this while you're watching it, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot. And if you enjoy makeup content, especially eyeshadow content, you should definitely consider subscribing to my channel. So this is the Star-Crossed Lovers Duochrome Eyeshadow Palette. The brand is BEAUTE Bar, and they are an indie brand out of Florida, which is where I'm from as well. It does retail for $49. Star-Crossed Lovers, a mauve, pink, and neutral lover's dream. 6 shimmering duochromes, 5 buttery soft mattes updated in our new Luxe formula, 2 diamond mattes, 1 shimmer, and 1 multichrome. Now, I also wanted to say this was an existing palette apparently that they had in their line, but they revamped it and redid it with their new matte formula. If you want to see it in action, stick around. You are about to see look number 1. I will see you back at the end. All right, I'm ready. I can't wait to use this palette. This is very Valentine's Day, obviously. And I am going to like a Valentine's Day market today, so I thought this was totally appropriate. I've already primed my eyes with the Rare Beauty Eye Primer. I'm gonna go into the shade Shakespeare right here. This more bright, almost like a warm pink. I'm just gonna run this through my crease area. It's a really pretty soft pink. Next, I'm gonna go in with the shade Banished right here. This looks like a matte with a little bit of sparkle in it, but I think if I just tap it, the sparkle will dissipate. Yeah, that pretty much is reading like a true matte. I'm basically going to repeat those 2 mattes on the lower lash line, starting with Banished close to the lower lash line, and then Shakespeare underneath that. The moment I've been waiting for to pop one of these gorgeous multichromes on my lid. I want to put them all over my lid. But first I'm going to put down the NYX Glitter Primer. Then I'm gonna go in with the shade Star-Crossed, which looks like, I don't know what it looks like, but it looks beautiful. This one right here. From here it looks purple, or should I do Vendetta? They look pretty darn close. Vendetta is like a pink to a blue, and then Star-Crossed is a purple to like a greenish. I'm gonna go Star-Crossed. That was my original instinct. So let me put that all over the lid. Wow. I'm gonna go off camera. I'm going to put on liner, lashes, and get myself together, and I will be right back to show you the final look. Okay, so this is the finished look, number 1. What do you think? I love it. I love how it came out. I was a little skeptical about the mattes, to be honest with you, because usually I don't swatch palettes before I do definitely my first look, but I did end up swatching this before. And when I felt the mattes, they felt very hard pressed and they were a little bit thin feeling, but on the eyes, they look so beautiful, which just goes to show you a swatch doesn't tell the whole story. What really matters to me personally is how they look on the eyes. So I think the mattes were really easy to work with and they blended out really nicely. And I made this a very simple look. I used 2 mattes and a shimmer. The shimmer star-crossed that's all over my lid, so incredibly beautiful. It definitely was a little bit on the textured side, so I would definitely suggest wetting your brush, doing your eyes first, and or using a glitter primer because there definitely will be fallout otherwise, I can imagine, but really gorgeous. And then while I was off camera, I put the shade Poetic in my inner corner, which I'm so glad that that is there for an inner corner highlight that's gonna go with pretty much any look that I decide to do. And so yeah, my experience so far has been really nice. I have no complaints at all whatsoever. You know what? There is one thing I want to add. I'll be right back.
A few moments later.
I have this heart stamp from ColourPop, and I feel like this is the only time of year that I really end up pulling it out and using it. So I think I would just want to stamp a couple of hearts. That'd be fun, right? Let's make sure it's facing the correct way. Just put a little heart there. Now let's see if I can match the other one up. Not exactly, but close enough. Oh, I think that heart stamp is really cute. Okay, well, I am off to go to this Valentine's Day market. I'm feeling very festive. Everything else that's on my face, I will link down in the description box below. And you're about to see look number 2. Right, so for this second look, I want to do something a little more smoky, right? Because not all Valentine's Day looks have to be like light and pretty and pink. Sometimes I want to be smoky. As you can see, I put on some tape to my eyes. I did do this in a look not too long ago and I really liked how it came out. So I thought, let's do it again. Why the heck not? So I'm gonna go into the shade Tragedy up here and I'm just gonna take that on a fluffy brush and just run it all over my crease. I've already primed my eyes, by the way, with the Rare Beauty Eye Primer. Next, I'm gonna go into the shade Bloodshed right here, this more like warm purple color. I'm gonna place this just a little lower in the crease. All right, and next up, I'm gonna go in with the shade Montague over here, this deepest kind of taupey color. I'm just gonna place this in my outer V. I want to put the shade Dagger all over my lid. This looks like a stunning multi-chrome. It goes from like a greenish gold to a purple to, it's beautiful. And it looks like it's more of a smooth shimmer shade rather than a textured one, which a lot of these are textured. So I'm super excited to give it a shot. I am going to put the NYX glitter primer all over my lid though first. And now I'm gonna go in with the shade Dagger and just place that all over my lid. Ooh, that is so beautiful. I don't know how people do this, but maybe you can see something, maybe you can't. I don't have a monitor, so your guess is as good as mine. Okay, I'm gonna go off camera. I'm gonna put on the rest of my makeup and I will be right back. So, I recorded myself doing my lower lash line. Well, I thought I was recording and it wasn't recording, so love that for me. All I did was I literally just repeated the same mattes that I did on my upper lash line. I just did them on my lower lash line. So I started with Montague, that darkest matte shade, and I just pushed it right up against my lower lash line. Then I smoked it out with Bloodshed, and then I blended it out with Tragedy. So literally just repeated the same mattes, and then I put Poetic in my inner corner, and I put Charmer from ColourPop, which is like a dark purple liner in my waterline. Again, everything else that I have on my face, I will put in the description box below in case you're wondering. But this is the final look. What do you think? I think it looks super smoky, super pretty. Ooh, love it. So what are my first and second impressions on this palette? I think it's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I was so excited to try the shimmers from this brand because I had heard that they were absolutely amazing, and I only used 3 shimmers, okay? And there's a lot more shimmers to use, so I am of course going to continue to use this palette. I will put it in a palette ranking in the future, but my first and second impressions are the shimmers were stunning. I love that there's different textures, like there's a lot of flakier textured shades, but there's also one that's more like smooth. We've also got a more like traditional metallic, which I love for the inner corner. And I really like the mattes as well. I was a little worried, if I'm gonna be honest with you, when I swatched them, they didn't feel really pigmented. They felt really hard pressed in the pan. They felt a little thin, but performance on the eyes, which is what matters to me, they worked out really nicely. They were true to pan, they were easy to blend, they weren't overly pigmented to the point where it was hard to work with. Really nice, and I love the array of shades. You're really gonna get a pinky or purple look from this palette, obviously, but there are cool tones, there's warm tones, there's pinks, there's purples, there's light, there's deep. So I really like the array of shades, both in the metallics and the mattes. So first and second impression, I'm really happy with this palette. I'm so glad I tried the brand. I'm so glad I picked up this specific palette. This is a color story that I will reach for because I love purple. Like this, like I love. And I'm really into pinks as well. So I will link this down below, and I want to know your thoughts now. Did you pick this up? Have you tried the brand? Do you want to try the brand? Have you never even heard of this brand before? Let me know down in the comments. I love hearing from you. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot when you do that. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing before you leave. I do upload videos weekly, both beauty and fashion videos, and I would love to see you back on my channel again. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.